All of the images I'll be sharing in this presentation relate to my mission, which is to help children of all ages and abilities learn and grow through music. One of those children is Jake, who you might never guess has autism if you were to sit in on one of our piano lessons. I started the music therapy program at the Hope Institute for Children and Families almost 4 years ago. I see over 125 children each week in group settings, and together we work on social skills, life skills, and all kinds of educational concepts. I have a lot of different nicknames: the guitar lady, the music teacher, the girl who sings, but mostly everyone at school calls me Miss Rachel. This is my cart, which I take with me into each classroom. Thanks to donations and grants, I have an amazing collection of instruments and equipment for the children to use. I'm so lucky to work with teachers who are extremely supportive of music therapy. Many of them even create their own visual aids to go along with my songs and activities, like this one. The 10 Days of Thanksgiving is definitely a favorite among both the kids and the staff. In addition to working at Hope, I also provide summer music therapy sessions at the Autism Program of Illinois. The kids who come to these groups are diagnosed with autism or Asperger's syndrome, and many have amazing rhythm, impressive drumming skills, and sharp memories for learning new songs. I spend afternoons and evenings in my home studio, where I run a private practice called Music Therapy Connections. Not only do I provide one-on-one therapy, but I also give piano, voice, and guitar lessons to both typically developing children and children with special needs. This is a pretty accurate representation of my studio after a therapy session, covered in scarves, drums, tambourines, bells, schedule cards, books, and whatever else my students can get their hands on. Let's just say they need a little more practice singing the cleanup time song. My studio has an unofficial mascot, and that's Sadie, my golden retriever. Sadie absolutely loves all of my students, but the thunder drum, not so much. And I have a little too much fun tormenting her with it. She's made many attempts to destroy it, but so far they've all been unsuccessful. I have tons of books that instead of reading, I sing. I use books as opportunities for my students to answer questions, identify objects and colors, and of course, to learn to read. This is one of my absolute favorites, The Story of My Feelings by Lori Berkner. One of my favorite parts of my job is pretending I'm an artist and making visual aids to go along with songs and activities. This is a picture board I made for the song Down by the Station, where each student gets to place an animal on the board and act it out during his or her turn. This is Mia, one of my piano students. One of the biggest incentives for all my students is having their picture on the wall of fame in my studio. This happens when they finish their current lesson book or participate in festival, neither of which is an easy feat. When I don't have kids there, my music room becomes a home recording studio. I write almost all of the songs that I use in music therapy, and I also have a blog called Listen and Learn Music, where I share all of my original songs with other music therapists and teachers. Last November, 25 of my songs were published in a songbook called Listen and Learn: Educational Songs for School, Home, and Play. It's pretty cool to know that kids all over the country are hearing and benefiting from my songs because of the songbook, as well as my blog. The songs I write, and those that I included in the book, cover lots of different topics like counting, telling time, learning about money, making friends, going to school, and so on and so on. I think at my last count, I was up to about 160 original songs. Although I mostly write songs for my own students, I also write custom songs for other music therapists and teachers. Just last month, I wrote the Texas Pledge song for an elementary school teacher in Texas who is helping her kindergartners memorize their state pledge. One of the most important parts of a music therapist's job is that of an advocate for the field. 2 other music therapists and I started a podcast called the Music Therapy Roundtable, where we talk about ways to advocate and educate others about music therapy, which is still a lesser-known field. Being a music therapist has given me some pretty awesome opportunities here in Springfield. Last spring, I got to lead a sing-along with a bunch of kids from the Boys and Girls Club at the Illinois State Museum during their camp-in, which was a blast. Last year, I wrote songs for WDVR's annual Radiothon benefiting the Children's Miracle Network and St. John's Hospital. The songs were based on actual stories and were tied in with audio from family interviews. I just recently started working on songs for this year's Radiothon, which is happening next month. Aside from music therapy and teaching lessons, I also perform in the community every once in a while. Audiences made up of kids are my favorite kind, but it's nice to sing for people my own age every once in a while, too. Last year, I was completely surprised, in a good way, to see a picture of myself in Tom Irwin's Illinois Times column. Over the summer, I released my first studio children's album called Time to Sing Hello. I had a CD release party, and amidst all the chaos, my father-in-law was able to capture this shot. It pretty much sums up my life, surrounded by music and kids with a big smile on my face.